Everyone treats summer like it owes you happiness. Long days, pool parties, your best life on a loop. So what does it mean when you feel worse? The summer blues are real. It's why summer is one of the busiest stretches of the year for people starting therapy. Therapy is not only for when you're in crisis. Grow therapy is for all the moments when you decide you want more. More support, more clarity, more tools. Mental health isn't a destination you reach. It's something you build, and Grow makes that easier. Grow connects you with thousands of high-quality licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. The therapist you want takes your insurance on Grow. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/book now today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/book now. growtherapy.com/book now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Hey, I've got the campaign brief ready, built from last quarter's data and the competitive landscape.
Approved. Oh, agents, where would we be without you?
Somewhere with a lot more tabs open.
Create your first Monday agent in minutes at monday.com.
Joe! Joe! Joe on Joe is the only podcast where Joe talks about Joe. And now, your host, Joe Slepsky.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Joe on Joe. It's me, your host, Joe Slepsky, and we are back this week for another episode of G.I. Joe Renegades. And listeners, if you're new to the show, this is the podcast where we've watched every episode of the old cartoon, the DIC, the Sunbow. We've even watched Extreme! And we watched the Mystery Science Theater style with a guest. And I am so happy this week to have a guest, a new friend of the show. I hope I can call you a friend. We've now crossed paths twice. I've been on your show. I've played a little bit in your background, although this is episode 1. But he's the owner operator of the Knowing Is Half the podcast. He also runs the Who Would Win Masters debate podcast. Ray Stakenas, welcome to Joe on Joe.
I could not be more excited to be here. I feel like this is well over a decade in coming. And for my sake, could we call this the Ray on Joe podcast?
Well, what's funny is I was going to call it the No on Joe podcast, the KNOW. Okay. But yes, it absolutely can be a Ray on Joe podcast. Yeah,
I love this.
I was going with No on Joe. I'm a huge fan of alliteration, and whenever I can do that, I roll with it. So it was going to be No on Joe.
Yours is way better than mine. Let's go with yours.
I'll take it. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
How exciting to be here. Yeah, we're talking some Renegades this week. And, and for the people who listen to this show, I'll just say it right now, this is what we would call a home and home in the football or soccer world. But in the podcast world, it exists too. So I am here as part 1 with Joe. And then Joe is going to come on Knowing Is Half the podcast for part 2. So if you'd like to get a full range of thoughts on both halves of this episode, you got to kind of like put them together like one of those crazy medallions from a National Treasure style movie.
With a flux capacitor in hand, because as we're recording this, my guest star in their episode is probably going to drop a good 3 weeks before you're hearing this today, kids. So go back in time. What happened is about 10 weeks ago or something like that, you guys had started doing Renegades, and I'd started doing Renegades at the same time, which is crazy because we both actually started our actual podcasts 10 years ago at around the same time, within days and weeks of each other. But you started doing Renegades, so we both dropped an episode on the same episode of Renegades at the same time. So we're like, hey, let's team up, let's do something. And I looked at my calendar and went, oh man, they're gonna lap me quickly. So when you reach out, you're like, hey, we're already on it. And as we're recording this, I still have 2 episodes to go to catch up. So
Welcome to the wacky world of podcasting, everybody.
It's a time travel experiment is what it is.
That's right. Well, here's the deal. This is good news, though, because they're going to find, your audience is going to find this episode here, and then they don't have to go in it. They just, it will be on the Knowing Is Half the Podcast feed right away.
There's no waiting. Yeah. And what's great is your episode, if there happens to be a guest there that is in any way interested in listening to me palaver, they're going to go to my episode and have to wait a month and a half.
That's right. They're gonna absolutely love it when your show comes out in early June, and they're gonna absolutely love the fact they have to wait till late June.
Well, you were smart. You guys were smart. You actually did your team's version of episode 1 first, and so this is me and you doing a Joe on Joe version of episode 1. So I like to think that there's a little bit of chocolate for people and a little bit of vanilla for people.
I think so, and obviously we're the vanilla. I'm not gonna pretend.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. My screen is blindingly white right now. Ray, how long have you been into G.I. Joe? I'm assuming the answer is going to be lifetime, but you tell me your G.I. Joe story. Where did you fall in love with G.I. Joe? What's up?
It's all right. So I'm a lifetime fan. I've been there since the original, the mass device, and all of that goodness from the original Real American Hero miniseries. I'm a child. Grew up in the 80s and early 90s and had my coming of age during that time. And G.I. Joe was always front and center. I kind of grew up in a gaming family. My dad was a big role player. It's crazy because I grew up in Michigan, in the Detroit area. And Dungeons and Dragons, people, it came about in the 1970s, in Wisconsin. And so my dad being right there and being kind of part of that culture as a young man really kind of latched into computer culture, Dungeons and Dragons culture. And so I grew up with just role-playing books all around me,
Very cool.
Video games all around me from being a baby. And I'm old. And that I have to find out after the fact that was not normal. Most people didn't have state-of-the-art gaming computers in their house when they were 5 back in the early 80s.
Well, a lot of parents were doing the Dungeons and Dragons Satanic Panic at the time. It was something to be afraid of. Yeah.
Why would I be afraid of it? It's just a boring ass book on my shelf. What are we talking about? I had the Dungeon Master's Guide, Unearthed Arcana, and I would just read through it because I'm like, oh, cool, fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
What a cool thing this is. I really don't know how to play, but I love the idea of it, and that's enough to keep me around.
And spoiler alert: if Satan's real, he's not going to wait for you to roll a 20.
No, he tends to not wait for a critical miss. But the thing about it though is he was also a big board gamer, and
Cool.
on top of it, so I played a lot of military. War games, board games. He had just this litany of ones that go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, just all around the house. He had tons and tons of these board games. And so I kind of grew up with kind of a very kind of pro-military lean just because of the fact that I'm playing World War II games when I'm 6, 7, 8 years old, right? And so here comes G.I. Joe with a colorful cast of characters, a fun vibe to it, some of the most outrageously wild sci-fi storylines, and a military theme, and I'm just hook, line, and sinker day one. I was pre-programmed to love this, and love this I do. And, I can remember being, I want to say 10 years old, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero is sort of right there in the zeitgeist. And I have a vivid memory of me turning to my dad and saying, I think when I'm an adult, and you can get a custom license plate, I want to have one that says Yo Joe. I think that's kind of awesome. And I remember vividly my dad sort of smirking. He's like, well, we'll see if you still feel that way when you're a little bit older. And I still do.
Do you have one though?
No, I've been broke for way too long in my life, Joe, to afford things like that.
That's also probably very hard to get. I imagine there are people with Yo Joes in line in front of you, but I recommend chasing that dream.
I might need to go get it. This will be my dying wish is just get me a Yo Joe license plate.
Side tangent, which is my stock in trade. I was watching Lone Wolf McQuade yesterday with classic of the genre, right? And David Carradine pulls up in his Camaro or whatever sports car it was. Do you know what the vanity license plate on that was? David Carradine, he of Kung Fu lore. He was the bad guy in Lone Wolf McQuade.
I don't know. What was it?
Karate.
You're not going to do it. Good night, everybody. We're not beating that.
This is only audio. You didn't see the look on his face.
That was outstanding.
I lost my mind, Leslie. He pulls up and the license plate is Carate. Karate. I loved it. I lost my mind. It was so good.
I'm gonna need to get a second car so I can have 2 license plates.
It was
now.
so
That's
good.
what I learned.
So were you more of a cartoon guy or a comic guy or a toy guy, or was it everything?
It was toys, a lot of toys. It was cartoons, very much the cartoons, and a little bit of the comic books. You know, the comic books always read, because I was in it as a pretty young kid, and they read a little bit more adult to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I owned a few, and I bought the compendium that came out on Kickstarter.
Smart.
So you know, and I still need to get through and like read all the comics because everything I read about him is awesome. And I read the first few issues when I got it, and I was just like, this is so far ahead of its time, like intellectually.
So much.
Like, oh my God, the stuff there, I could cut clips out of just like, you know, out of, what do you call it? Out of context G.I. Joe frames.
Mm-hmm.
And they would all apply to the year 2026.
100%.
In a hard way. Like, it really hit with me big. And I'm like, man, I really wish I would have gotten into the comic books a little deeper, you know, a little bit sooner. But no, I was always more of sort of the junior side of it. On all about the toys and all about the cartoon show.
Awesome. For me, that was the comic book that sent me to the dictionary. I would always look up words that Larry was using because I wanted to understand what they meant. It was written at such a high level. So I recommend, even at this advanced stage, Ray, you should really dig into them.
I mean, I own them. There's really no excuse.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true. So speaking of board games, did you then get into the because there were a couple good G.I. Joe board games back in the day. Did you have those?
I did. I had the one that was the gigantic one with the giant map.
Loved it. Yes.
And I'm trying to remember the name of that one right now.
I always forget the name of that one.
Grinding it to a halt. A commando attack game. That's it. I kind of want to go on eBay and buy another one. I'm sure I have one at my parents' house somewhere.
I still have mine.
See, I don't, and it's a decent game. It's a
for great game.
Somebody who was me big into like maps and armies and stuff like that, to have like a legitimate, it's not advanced squad leader by any stretch of the imagination, but like you could actually, and my favorite part is the cardboard cutouts. You could take those out and there was a little pin to put your actual figures on there.
You could use the figures in the play. That was the smartest part of that game.
It was so cool.
Because then it did not limit you as to who could play in the game. We weren't just limited to those cardboards.
Bring in your own characters and play it however you wanted to. And then, as you captured opponents' pieces, they went in like your little POW camp. So then your opponent could like, you know, king me on the other side and release me.
Yes.
Listen, this is a great game, and we should definitely do like a let's play video of Commando Attack game.
I'm in.
Get a bunch of figures together. Let's make this happen. I just came up with this, but it feels like it needs to happen.
I've got the game. It's in my closet. Let's make it happen. Okay.
We're both in LA. This is going to be very easy.
That's very, very exciting. I love it. So as life happens, you grow, you know, you mature, you change. Did you ever like really dip out of it? Like leave it alone? And what brought you back to it?
Yeah, I mean, I always was a fan, you know, and once we got to sort of the mid 90s, you know, I'm now like going to college and, you know, I'm sort of in that zone of trying to like figure out life and what do I even like.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Ohio Northern University, the Fighting Polar Bears, Division III champions of something. I'm sure.
Is that in Ohio?
It is in Ohio.
Okay.
It's West Central Ohio.
Very cool.
And I'm a Michigan guy, so for me to go to school in Ohio, it had to be a good experience because I wouldn't do it just to do it.
My wife's from Dayton. She would Toilet Teal. She's a Dayton native.
It's all things good. And so, you know, I sort of just fell off. You know, if a show episode was on, I'd watch it, you know, and I'd be like interested in like when I graduated, I'm becoming like an actual functioning adult in my 20s. I went and I bought like off of eBay like 26 disc bootleg collection of Real American Hero G.I. Joes. Those discs don't even work anymore. I've tried them, but I still have them all. And they actually took some of the newer comic books and then like took a copy of it and made those the cover. It's great. And I was sort of just like, I still really like this, but like, what are you going to do with that? You know, I'm going to watch them every so often. I don't really, you know, do much with the toys anymore. And then I'm a real responsible adult now, Well, it came down to being, you know, 2015, I think it was. And so I'm wanting to do a new podcast. I've been doing a sports comedy podcast with my friend Brent Pope called The Raisin Brent Show, which is one of the worst names in podcast history. I'll go ahead and say it. But that show was starting to wane just a little bit. Like, we've done this. We've done it for about 3 years at that point. it's kind of getting a little tedious. You know, we've gone through all of our hot takes. Like, you know what? At this point, like we're just sort of doing it to do it and only doing new episodes. We wanted to meet somebody to invite on the show,
Which
is a smart way to reason to have a podcast.
Yep.
And so we're like,
It's a great call. It's a great calling card. Having a podcast is an amazing calling card.
No, yeah. You want to guess? Hey, do you want to hang out sometime?
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to come on my podcast and then we'll just get to know each other? Yay!
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do that.
And they say to me, but I'm not really into GI Joe, and I just go, oh, we'll talk all about you. We don't even care. I throw GI Joe under the bus. I'm like, no, nothing. GI Joe. It's just we're talking about things you like.
This is exactly it. You know, but so I'm sitting and I'm just like, I want to do a show. I think the best shows out there are like recap shows of movies, TV. I'm looking at How Did This Get Made podcast.
I love it.
I'm looking at a bunch of these other great comedy shows, and I'm like, we just need a little bit of a hook and a tether to get into something. And my friend Robert Clark Chan, who I knew from doing comedy stuff at like Second City, Los Angeles, or the IO West.
Awesome.
And he was a big podcast guy. He was even a bigger podcast guy than I was back then. And he did a show with a gentleman named Sam Proof, who's I'm now working with, called the Pizza Games and Zombies podcast, where they ate pizza and reviewed it, played a board game on stream and reviewed it, and then talked about something zombies. And that was the show. And it was great.
They don't bury the lead. Do not bury the lead.
Yeah. Zombies first. But the thing is I was just like, he was looking for a gig, a podcast to do. I was looking for a podcast to do. I sort of hit him up and I say, hey, I have this idea. There's a handful of different ideas, whether they were role-playing, like real-life role-playing podcasts I had some ideas for. I had some ideas for some shows. And I said, let me pitch this to you. Let me come over to your apartment. Let me pitch this to you. And I brought over one of these bootleg DVDs that I just happen to have. And I just grabbed a random one. And I said, let's watch an episode of Cartoon G.I. Joe, a show you've seen but don't really have much of an opinion on. And I have strong opinions on it. And let's just see if there's enough meat on this bone that we think we could talk about it. And the episode we randomly watched was the one where Sergeant Slaughter goes back in time to ancient Greece.
Yes.
Just completely randomly. And it is wonderful. Uh-huh. You got aliens, you got mythos, you got future tech, you got the trials of Heracles. Like, what, you don't know I went to college? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, that's just off the top of my head. I love that episode. But anyway, we showed it, and he was just sort of like, yo, there's a lot of meat on this bone. We absolutely could do a G.I. Joe themed show, maybe even sort of like theme it around greater cartoons as well, because there's only so much G.I. Joe out there. And we kind of intended this to only be like a couple years, maybe.
Yeah.
He was good friends with somebody named Gina Ippolito, who I'd never met before, but she was also part of the comedy circles, more at the UCB theater. And so I met Gina 5 minutes before we recorded our first episode. And because I am bad at planning, the very first episode we recorded was Pyramid of Darkness, episode 4. Why that was the first one we did, I don't know. No intelligent person would make that choice.
Hey, the show gives you a recap.
That's right.
It's got a recap in front. I don't know what the complaint is. There's a recap. Come on.
I don't know why I ever thought that was possibly a good idea. So we did part 4 as like a tester, and it went really well. I thought our chemistry just right off the bat was phenomenal.
Part 4, is that the one with the dancing snake eyes and Shipwreck? Is that part 4?
I honestly
Pyramids
don't
of Darkness
remember.
Is them, and it's the dancing them is either 3 or 4. Yeah, so that's an amazing episode to start with.
It is, and the one part I remember and why I thought it was good is the one with the Technicolor butterflies that put the guards to sleep.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was in that episode. And so we watched it. We had a good time with it. Like, we all enjoyed each other. We didn't have any like weird problems. And so it's like, you want to just keep doing this, until we're good. And it's just like, okay. And here we are 11 years later. Crazy. I didn't know there were 27 different G.I. Joe cartoon series in existence. I only at the time knew about Real American Hero and Deke. And I had no idea that anything else existed because I was so out of the loop as more of an adult.
Yeah, that's what I've loved about this as well, is learning about all this stuff that I stopped following When I stopped following G.I. Joe, there was this whole decade after it or more that I have no idea about. So I'm learning as I go. So like these Renegades episodes I've never seen before. So, this is all new to me.
Yeah, 100%. And so, I found, G.I. Joe Extreme is an actual thing. We watched all that. Oh, G.I. Joe Sigma 6 is a thing. We watched all that. There were some crappy CGI movies. We watched all of those that I could possibly
Have you
find.
watched Ninja Battles? I recently
absolutely.
I recently got a hold of that one. That's crazy.
I have it on my shelf right over here.
Yeah.
I bought every single one of them, and I love them. What a great way to bring, you know what? It's a great bridge to bring back the original characters after Extreme.
Yeah.
To try to just get them back in the zeitgeist again.
Ninja Battles is like, all right, boss, we've got this new technology. It's a little bit of Photoshop. It's a little bit of QuickTime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we could do high class, put it on a DVD style animation. You really think that? Yes.
Yeah, and
You
we
know,
can package it with it with 2 figures. Everyone will buy it.
They were wrong, but it still exists.
It's delightful. I thought honestly, I think I remember Ninja Battles I enjoyed more than I thought I would, but I think I enjoyed all of them more than I thought I would.
I enjoy all of them on some level. I really do. Even the DIC stuff, I do find something to enjoy in everything we do. Did you guys cover all of the Sunbows and all? Like, did you do all 120 whatever?
Every single one of them.
Great. So
every single one of them, and now we're on Renegades, which here we are. I do want to really quick before we get to your point. Did you ever? I haven't heard anybody else talking about this, but the audio cassette tape that came with the orange tripwire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, with the orange tripwire.
Cobra's Revenge. Yeah, it was the tripwire one, and it had basically Cobra Commander. The guy was doing a Peter Lorre impression.
Awesome.
And you can find it on YouTube, and it's for any G.I. Joe fan. I owned the cassette tape. I owned the orange tripwire figure. It was like bright orange and like a little bit of red.
Yeah.
And I definitely it's a great listen. It'll really give you a nice throwback moment to go check it out. I want to say you could find it on YouTube. I just want to plug that thing that won't make me any money.
No, totally. Check it out. I know Operation Brazil.
Yeah,
that I had as a kid too, but no, I never had the orange tripwire, and I don't think I've ever heard that. Was it Listen and Play? I think it was it was something like that. Yeah. I do want to get that orange tripwire though. That's on my to-dos of collecting. You did all the episodes. You did Extreme. You did. Was there a standout era for you, like, or put you on the spot of that, but like, was there any of them that you really were like, that's it, that's a great episode? Because I know we all kind of have I don't want to say favorites, but if there's stuff that you were like, wow, I was impressed they did that.
I would have to go back. Even Deke era, like in the second season, we talked to Doug Booth about it when he kind of took the reins over in season 2, and he's like, the writing is having trouble. I got to bring in some people that I know can go. So he had Flint Dilley come on and do an episode, and Christy Marks came on and did a couple of episodes. And easily those 3 episodes are the 3 best episodes of Deke era G.I. Joe.
Right.
There was like a fake superhero who looked just like Serpentor. Yeah. And there was one with an AI or something in it, I believe. I mean, this is completely off the top of my head. It's been a minute. But like Christy Marks is phenomenally talented, and she wrote some of the best episodes. And in Deke era, those absolutely stood out. Extreme, the funny thing about Extreme is Extreme gets a very bad rap, especially if you look at like IMDb, and it's rated like 2 points lower than Deke era, which is absurd to me.
It's obscene.
It's so much, and I tell this right now, Deke has it was like 7,000 reviews or whatever. I'm making that up, but like G.I. Joe Extreme only had like 50 reviews, which means that if me, you, and everybody who listens to this goes on IMDb and rates G.I. Joe Extreme 5 stars right now, we can correct the ship easily.
And we should.
As a mass unit, and we should. And I've done it already. So this is my challenge to the Joe on Joe audience.
I enjoy Extreme. A long-time joke on this. We have to say Extreme. I enjoyed it. I think the suffer there was the animation quality and the animation style, that 90s style where they wanted to emulate the inks and the darkness of a comic book page, and they were trying to do that, like you see it in the X-Men original X-Men animated series. They wanted to try to emulate that, but with zero budget, and that's really what hurt it. And then also from the toy side, the toys were garbage, so no one liked the toys. So you're not gonna get any crossover love there. So they've kept it out of circulation. No one has seen it. That's why there's only 50 reviews on it, because it's nowhere to be seen. They're only crappy quality versions of it. We had a hashtag for when I was doing those. Our hashtag was hashtag release the extreme.
Well, I'll tell you, they're all on YouTube right now on the official G.I. Joe YouTube channel.
They did Extreme on the official channel? Are they cleaned up?
I believe so. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've gone to look for them. I want to say I watched them on a pirate site.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've only ever seen pirated copy. That's great. I mean, if they're doing that, I love it.
I would have to check it up again because the fact that I said it out loud means it's probably not true.
Facts have never gotten in the way on this podcast. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
And I want them to follow through and do some embrace the extreme in the current classified line. There's a couple great figures you could do in classified form. Are you a current toy collector? Are you current toy guy?
Off and on. You know, if I see what I really like, I go ahead and I get it. And I am not afraid of it. I will absolutely make it happen. I believe all the extreme is in fact on the official channel of G.I. Joe YouTube.
So that's great. That's great.
Go check that. All the Sigma 6 is on there. All the Renegades is on there. Anyway, but to answer your question, yes, I will buy them when the mood strikes me. Like I have the Super 7 Zartan from Cold Slither.
Yep.
And Snake Eyes from dressed as a Cobra Soldier from Pyramid of Darkness, and the Clown Trooper from the Funhouse episode. Like all the really good ones, I'll absolutely go ahead and pick up. And then the larger figures, which are, quite honestly, the much better quality ones.
Sure.
I'll get my favorite characters. So I have a Cobra Commander, a Barbecue, a Tomax, and Zaymot, and my very good friend Delvin Cox got me a Prophet Director Destro.
Yes,
gigantic box that just showed up in the mail one day, and I was like, "Oh boy, this guy's taking care of me here. I got to appreciate."
That's amazing. So that was going to be my next question. Character-wise, is that who you gravitate to? Commander, the twins, Barbecue?
Yeah, my favorite character growing up was Barbecue, and I couldn't exactly tell you why, other than he has a really cool look, and I think he had red hair, and I had bright red hair back then. And I think I just connected with it. But Barbecue is the Viper is Coming was my favorite episode as a kid.
I love that episode so much.
Because that's the Barbecue episode.
Yeah.
And then from there, I mean, look, I like them all, but Sergeant Slaughter really always also stood out. As Sergeant Slaughter might be like my favorite character outside of Cobra Commander. There was just something absolutely just larger than life about Sergeant Slaughter, and he never gave up. He stayed till the fights won. I mean, he did. What a hero.
He's still doing it.
He was there, and he's still
staying.
What made it even cooler is, that got me into like pro wrestling. It was G.I. Joe was my gateway into pro wrestling.
They do go hand. They very much go hand in hand. Very much go hand in hand.
And so here I am as a 20-something-year-old watching lots and lots of as much wrestling as I can get in my early 20s, before I started getting into it myself. And sure enough, there's Sergeant Slaughter, who's past his prime, but still goes out there once a year on Monday Night Raw and gives you like a nice 4-minute match and does his handful of spots that he can still completely crank out. And it's just absolutely wonderful. And I have such great respect for that man.
That's so good.
And for the business in general.
That's so good. So today we're watching Homecoming. Homecoming is as we talked about on your episode, talking about part 2. It's a great episode. It's a great two-parter.
It's so good. This Homecoming Part 1 is not just like a great episode of G.I. Joe. It's a great episode of pure television. And the fact that I forgot, and both of my co-hosts, Gina and Chan, when there was like 2 minutes to go in the episode, we forgot it was a part 1.
Yeah.
Like we were so enraptured by the episode and so caught up in the moment of it that when the big swerve happens at the end, spoiler alert, that leads to part 2, like none of us saw it coming, even though we knew it was part 1 walking in the door.
They do
really well done.
They do a very good job of keeping, as Jim Shooter used to say, everyone's comic book is their first comic book, so it should be a self-contained adventure. Incorporating. They do a great job with these two-parters right here, and you've got the flashbacks and the history. And of course we can't go very far without saying it. They bring in the voice actors of Michael Bell and BJ Ward, Duke and Scarlet come back to play our current Duke's parents. It's amazing.
It's an absolutely wonderful thing. And it was one of those deals that when we watched it the first time and, we talked about it ourselves, I didn't even really realize that was also Scarlet, although honestly, I'm stupid. I should have. But like Michael Bell has such a striking voice that even when you hear him in like old, like 1960s and 70s cartoons, like it stands out like, because he's the lead in a lot of those cartoons.
He really is. He shows up.
And he really kind of just has that. And I'm not trying to defame him in any way, but he has sort of like a voice that sells, and he keeps doing that same voice. He's not necessarily one of those actors who gives you like like a Frank Welker, like, dozens
yeah.
and dozens of flavors. You get the Michael Bell flavor, but god dang,
It's a great flavor.
A great flavor.
Yes, everyone loves that flavor. Yes.
Everyone loves that flavor. That is the French vanilla of cartoon voices, and everyone loves it, and we're all happy to get it. And I'm a big fan of Mike. So when he started talking, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Because the actor, and I don't know his name off the top of my head, but who plays Duke on Renegades, does a pretty good job, but he's doing a Michael Bell impression.
Yeah.
And it's never more obvious than when he's doing a scene with actual Michael Bell.
It's Jason Marsden, who I believe is James Marsden's brother.
Okay, well, he's very talented.
Yeah, he is very good. He's excellent on it. So, listeners, if you've got your videos queued up, we're going to hit play in just a second. And Ray, we're going to talk more about your podcasting as the show goes on.
Sure.
But before we do that, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you want to reach out and say hi, go to social media, say hello, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Joe on Joe Pod. Ray, where can they find your show, the Knowing is Half the Podcast show?
Yeah, you can find my shows, Knowing is Half the Podcast, or Who Would Win Masters. If you like one, you'll like the other. If you like this, you'll like both.
We're going to talk about that in a sec, yeah.
Yeah, wherever you podcast. You can find it on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotifys, your Podbeans, 57 other podcast apps I've never heard of before because they just get their feeds off of Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Wherever you catch your podcast. Yeah. Sometimes I see stuff there. I get emails. They're like, "Hey, great, your show is ranked on whatever Pod Nut.
Oh yeah,
Pod Nut Job Daily." And I'm like, who is Pod Nut Job Daily? Like, what is that?
Did you know that goodpods.com has me as the 7th best entertainment podcast in New Zealand? Hey, awesome.
I got that email too.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true. What, am I going to prove them wrong? I choose to believe you.
I'm ranking high in Paraguay. Look out. Look out. So listeners, reach out and say, are you guys on social at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, we have...
It's a hellscape. It's a hellscape.
It's a hellscape. You can find us... you can usually get our socials off there, but we have a Knowing Is Half the Podcast Facebook group. We have a Patreon for both. You can go to patreon.com.
They're pretty easy to find, yeah. And we've got a Patreon.
Knowing Is Half the Podcast, Who Would Win Masters. You can join all of those for free, too. You can join them for free and still get everything.
Our shows are two trains running on two parallel tracks. Except they really are, except you were smart enough to do it with a crew. which lightens the load. They are absolutely in the same parallel tracks. Go to Patreon, help support their show. You can help support our show at Joe on Joe Pod at Patreon. Just say hi. You can also send me an email to joeonjoepod@gmail.com. Hey listeners, this is the perfect time to let you know that the crossover episodes of Knowing Is Half the Podcast that we're discussing, that is from their feed on June 5th, Homecoming Part 2 with Joe Slepsky. I urge you to check them out. I'm going to have the link in the show bio and all that such. It was a wonderful time. We had a whole blast. It was great talking G.I. Joe with that crew. I want to thank Ray so much for having me on for that. So please seek out the June 5th episode of Homecoming Part 2 with Joe Slepsky. In fact, that's going to be the sequel to this show. We're not going to cover Homecoming Part 2 because I already covered it over on their episode. So I'm driving you over to their episode to hear, if you want to hear my thoughts, or if you don't want to hear my thoughts, avoid it. And the next episode here will be the following episode of G.I. Joe Renegades. Also, we're going to be talking about his podcast, Ray's podcast called Who Would Win Masters. I did a guest star on that. That's how long ago we recorded this podcast. I've been on Ray's shows 3 times before this one even aired. But man, do I appreciate Ray having me on. I got slaughtered in a versus matchup between Nova and Guy Gardner. I represented Guy, and you can hear those gory details on the July 7th episode of Who Would Win Masters, and the wrap up where I learned my fate that I got absolutely, and I don't mean to spoil it for you, but I'm just not going to set you up for any good feelings there. It didn't end well. Spoiler alert. On the July 7th and July 14th episodes of Who Would Win Masters, I was asked to join Ray for that show, and that was a blast and a hoot and a lot of fun. And I hope to hope we cross paths with Ray even more in the future. Check those out. The links will be in the bio of this episode. While we're here recording, I want to say to everybody listening, we do have some trivia books to give away. The After Action Report trivia book by our good friend Josh Egbean, edited by Gary Viola, friend of the show, Gary Viola, And we have these books to give away. So we gave one away last episode, and we're going to be giving away one today. So please shoot me an email to joeandjoepod@gmail.com if you're interested in the After Action Report trivia and activity book. All right. Now back to watching this amazing episode of G.I. Joe Renegades Homecoming Part 1. So get ready to hit play, listeners. 1, 2, 3.
All right, we're going.
Little Christmas episode.
I love me some Christmas episode. What really hits me about this is how Duke is cranky. And I remember, Cobra Claws are coming to town where Mutt was the one who hates Christmas.
Somebody's always got to hate Christmas.
Yeah, and Duke, I don't know if this is the right choice for the character. I know given this episode, they need a reason for him to be a little cranky. And I don't know, it's a little weak to me, but like this is fine.
Well, it's a little. This show is good, but this show absolutely takes a lot of the traditional moments and leans into them. You've got the brother. You've got the brother who's upset because you came back home. Like you saw. I think of a million shows that do it. Remember X-Men 2 when Bobby Drake comes home.
Sure.
Christmas. Someone's got to hate Christmas. Someone's got to dislike Christmas. They need to learn the lesson of Christmas. There's another example of it in these episodes. I was trying to think of when we were talking on your show the other day. It sprung to mind. But so they're cliches, they're tropes, but they use them well.
And this is the thing. Any complaint I'm going to have about this episode is minor nitpicking at best.
Yes.
It's just, they chose to do this. I think they could have made a stronger choice to do it maybe a different way. No part of me is going to. This is one of the best episodes of, and I haven't seen every episode yet of Renegades. I've only seen what I've seen up to this point.
Yeah, same.
This is absolutely one of the best episodes, if not the best episode we have up to this point.
It's got good balance of the team having an action thing to keep your attention, and then this backstory, this the Dukes thing, which is obviously a little slower burn, and that just builds character stuff between him and Flint, which is awesome. Which is great. I live for that stuff. When cartoons do the continuity, I'm here for it. Which I think Extreme did. Extreme had continuity.
Very much so, yeah.
Like they were
every single episode was about somebody's backstory.
Yeah, they were world building in Extreme. I think that's why it played so well for me. And Sunbow didn't have a lot of that, but when they did, you were like, oh, Mara's back. That's awesome.
When they chose to do world building is when they did their strongest episodes. Yeah. That's when you have a Worlds Without End.
Yes.
That's when you have a Welcome to Springfield.
Yes.
And all of these. And it's just...
Speaking of Welcome to Springfield, as we're recording this, they just announced the San Diego specials from Hasbro. And it's a Shipwreck 2-pack. It's Shipwreck from Welcome to Springfield with the female officer. I'm forgetting her name right now. And they're releasing Fatal Fluffies finally in the classified size. So everyone's going to buy 100 Fatal Fluffies. They better make 18 times the amount of Fatal Fluffies they think they're going to need.
Less talk, more work. Big Fatal Fluffies fan over here.
I love the Fatal Fluffies. So Ray, you mentioned your show. Who would win Masters?
That's right.
What's happening there? What is that?
Who Would Win Masters is a spirited debate show. It's a show I've been a part of a show called the Who Would Win Show with my former partner, and together we debated back and forth over the course of 7+ years. Who would win in a fight between characters from sci-fi, comic books, movies, anime, video games, wherever you could find them. And then we would take two characters of similar power. I like to do cross styles as opposed to kind of everybody knows about the RoboCop versus Terminator, the Superman versus Goku. What is it? Hawkeye versus Green Arrow. Yeah. Everybody's seen those a million times, and I'm bored to death of that. I want to pick two characters that have similar power levels, but different powers, and how do they interact with each other, and how does that come about? So, for example, we would have just released an episode, Lobo versus Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony. These are two very powerful characters from two very different universes.
I know the name Twilight Sparkle. I'm not going to play dumb. I know a little bit about My Little Pony. I didn't know they had powers, though. They have powers?
They have powers. They have magic. They can fly. They've got auras.
But they're different. But they're different powers. Like each horse does a different thing, though.
Oh yeah, like one's got like super speed.
Really?
Twilight Sparkle's more of like a caster, like a wizard type.
Had no idea.
And they don't necessarily play into it so big. And if you only sort of look at it as a surface level, you won't know this. Like, we've done Sailor Moon on the show before as well. Like, I have a good time just doing any assortment of characters. We did Drizzt to Erden, the Dungeons and Dragons novel character.
Yeah.
Like, I like, and my favorite, one of my all-time favorite characters, NFL Super Pro. We've done, on the previous iteration of the show. So anyway,
it sounds like that's very leaning into your RPG roots from being a kid.
Totally.
Very much so.
Totally, absolutely. And so the old version of the show was me and my partner at the time. We would just debate, and it would be the two of us, and we would have a guest judge, celebrity, comedian, podcaster, whatever.
One sec. This is a great moment in the show.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
No. They're trying to sneak into this Cobra party, and they're dressed as Santa and elves, and he's got a bag, and Snake Eyes just jumped out of his bag. The whole time, Roadblock had slung Snake Eyes in a bag over his shoulder the entire scene. And when he needed to pop up and punch a guard, Snake Eyes showed up for it. And that's awesome. You're carrying a ninja, and we don't even know it.
What I love about that scene is that they show up as Santa and elves at the Cobra party to the backdoor servant's entrance, and the guard there and you're just like, oh, geez, this is so stupid. This guard's going to let them in. How they don't have ID. They say they don't have ID. But what ends up happening is the guard's like, you guys actually need to get out of here, because I'm good at my job, and I'm not just going to let you walk in here with no ID based on your costumes. And that's when Snake Eyes jumps out and takes out the guard. And I just think, like, you know what? We got smart in that moment.
Yeah,
right? I like it when bad guys are competent.
And actually, that's a gag they've actually used before in the show. Scarlet was trying to break them out of the prison, and she went around town and tried these different schemes to get Duke out. None of the schemes worked. They ended up just having to storm the prison.
Remember, she had a series of costumes, and she was trying to just like talk her way through situations.
And she was pregnant. She went in pregnant. Yeah.
But that's the one that worked. Is she came in as like a pregnant sort of trailer trash person, and that was the one that finally got over.
Who wants to mess with trailer trash?
Well,
like they can go off at any time.
This is what's so wonderful about it, though, is she tried multiple times with high-status role-play characters, and they all got shut down. Yeah. When she came from the low-status side, which is anti what Scarlet would want to do, that's the time it worked. And I thought that was a really cool play on the whole game.
That's smart insight, kids. That is smart insight.
But no, so we would have guest judges come in and judge, and they would often come in and do a terrible job. They wouldn't know what was going on. I'll throw them under the bus. We had some of the most outlandish and terrible decisions. Did you even listen to what you heard?
I'm assuming you lost a lot. That's what this sounds like.
More than I should have. Like, we had one woman come in, and she was a fashion influencer that I didn't book. And this is when we were doing the show at live tapings. And she brought her 13-year-old son with her and just let him derail the entire show. Interrupt all the points that were being made to ask the most inane questions possible, which mostly got cut out of the final cut of the episode. And then when it came time to do the final decision, we say, okay, you've heard the points from both of us. Where are you at with this decision? She pauses. She turns to her kid and goes, I don't know. What do you think? I say, I'm so glad you're here.
When people don't play the game, you see it a lot too. You see it in it'll show, not a lot, but it'll show up when you watch enough podcasts, listen to podcasts, watch enough shows or whatever. The person agreed to be there, and then they get like that. Like, I don't know, I'm not paying attention. It's the whole reason you're here. At least fake it.
We asked you to do a minimum of work on this show, and you wouldn't rise to that level,
Yeah.
And so sometimes it was just a train wreck like that, where it's just like, what are we doing? Like, you agreed to be here.
So you said that's an earlier iteration. Did you revamp and reboot it?
Yes. So the new the new versions, we separated out, me and my former partner, and we each did our own version of the show. And the version I do is called Who Would Win a Masters. And Who Would Win Masters is sort of saying, like, now we have a more elite level of competition to it, because I'm not debating the same person who I know what they're going to say and do every single episode after a while.
Right.
Nothing new. And I'm hoping they'll put in the work every week. It's more so like, I'm going to bring in the guests who previously were judges, but only the really good ones. And people who do this stuff on, like, YouTube channels, on Instagram. I'm trying to reach out to a lot of these sort of folks who talk about this stuff all the time. I've been doing it for, 8 years now. Come on and debate me, bro. And
speaking of bro.
Oh, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just met Vince. We just met Falcon.
That's right. We have Falcon. Also, we have this is the moment where Flint destroys Duke's knee in the football game.
Oh yeah. We're getting there. Absolutely. So we just met Falcon. Duke's having a flashback. I love the subtle hints they have in this scene. And you're right. When we spoke on your show, I had the teams mixed up. Flint's team was the Falcons. Duke's team is the Eagles.
Yep.
Which works so well because Falcon is who he's against, and Falcon on the show, he and Falcon don't butt heads. In the old cartoon, they butted heads, so it totally makes sense that they're butting heads. Flint, by the way, is a massive jagoff.
Oh, the thing is, like,
what a jerk!
You're supposed to believe he's hard-nosed. Oh, hold on, we got our Michael Bell moment here.
Yeah, he's just such a jerk.
But Flint's worth, because they think, oh, he's just hard-headed. He just wanted to win really bad. And I would believe that if he hadn't later gone to the fast food place of employment that Duke was working at and taunted him further.
Right? He's 100% the town bully.
Oh, it's terrible.
I used to love Flint. This does not endear me to Flint. This version of Flint is going to need to go a long way for me to appreciate him. I love Bill Ratner. He's a great dude.
Bill Ratner's the best.
He's a great dude, and his version of Flint is top 10 for me. But this version of Flint, and again, we haven't seen the rest of the episodes, right? You and I both. So they may flip it around. He may become the greatest, funnest dude ever. Have you ever read Action? Oh, you probably haven't. The Action Force stuff. Flint was there was British stuff. Flint in that is really like this Flint. He's really hardcore and like a jerk and aggressive and murderous and crazy. This is like Action Force Flint.
This is great. Now, I kind of want my leader of my military operation to be hard-nosed.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem. Look, Sergeant Slaughter's hard-nosed.
True.
His job is
to capture them, not necessarily to judge them, not necessarily to see did you or did you do it. My job is to just bring you in so we can then determine your guilt or innocence.
Yeah. If you know Les Miserables, he's Javert. And at a certain point, the job itself becomes more important than the people involved.
Now you're talking my language. But what happens to Javert? He gets so obsessed. He gets so obsessed, and it doesn't end well. I think Flint needs to learn a lesson.
Well, here's the deal. We are now one episode past this in our recording of Going Is Half the Podcast.
Uh-huh.
So we've recorded episode 13 now.
So is there a spoiler that ruins this whole conversation? Does Flint turn out to be a good guy?
But I do believe that at the end of both homecomings, here's the deal. Episode 13 really doesn't have much to do with it. At the end of the second homecoming episode, which everybody here should go watch, you start to see the veneer crumble a little bit. And you start to see that maybe Flint's kind of like seeing what's going on. Maybe he still has a job to do, but he's not as fervent as he had been before.
So much I need to say.
Yeah. So your new show now, it's you and an influencer, someone from the world that you're debating.
Or a fan of the show. Okay. Somebody who really, it's basically, I want people who want to be there. How about that?
Oh, that's great.
I want smart people who want to be there and handle themselves
smart,
verbally.
Smart people that want to be there. Now you're setting a bar.
No, they don't have to be that smart. They're only debating me. It's fine. But I want to come back and I want to do new battles, new matchups, maybe even revisit some of the ones we did, some of the classic ones we did before that people liked.
Sure. Is it an audio only or video?
Audio only. There are video elements. We do post videos on Instagram and we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I think it's best served as an audio format. I'm just not as good looking as other people on YouTube are, and I just have to embrace that.
Girl, same. I like the audio. I like the audio format. I don't need.
I prefer. Nobody knows who I am and what I look like. Right. Ideally, that would be the ideal way to
go. That's so funny. And so you have started this show. You've been doing this version of it.
We've been doing it for right around a full year now. As you listen to this,
great.
We're on season 2 officially, and we keep getting bigger and better, and people keep improving, and people keep wanting to come back again, which is a nice thing.
Well, I'll throw my hat in the ring. You know, self-serving. Throw my hat in the ring. But I'd love to come on and debate. I was once on a show that aired It was a Stan Lee courtroom drama trial show.
Oh my God, how fun is that?
Yeah, where Stan Lee was the quote unquote, he was still alive, not the, oh my God, did you see they announced they're doing an AI Stan Lee this week?
If he doesn't hear from me in the next 5 minutes,
I didn't, and now I'm sad.
I'm so sad. It bummed me out so much. But this is back, this is about 10 years ago. They it was a Stan Lee courtroom trial. So he would show up on via video phone and go, "Hey, true believers, today's matchup is Spider-Man versus, Blue Beetle." And then they would bring in two fans in a fake mock courtroom with the courtroom full of people in cosplay, and they had celebrity judges judge our argument. So I got the Han Solo Indiana Jones fight.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my argument was for that Indiana Jones would win. And I won the debate. But the best part of that day was I met my good friend Andy Sell. He had the Han Solo part.
Okay.
And it was so much fun. It's on the internet all the time, and you see people yelling at both of us. But it was such a delight. And my favorite part of that, they did keep it in the air. I was wearing a Boba Fett t-shirt, even though I was rooting for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
And Andy's like, you part of his argument. And I didn't know, I just met him that day, but we've now become very good friends. He goes like, look at him. He even wears a Star Wars shirt supporting, Star Wars. He's not even wearing an Indiana Jones shirt. And I paused and I looked right at him. I had set this up. I knew this. I had this in my head. I looked at him and I go, yeah, because Andy, I didn't think you would have the balls to wear a Hitler t-shirt.
That's really good. That's really, really good. I love it. Well, here's the deal. You have an open invitation to come on the show. We'll talk after we finish.
Awesome.
We'll
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And anybody who wants to can try to, send us a 1-minute video demo of yourself, just talking about a character. Just show me that you could enunciate words, basically, and that you have a setup worth listening to. And it's you can send it to whowouldwinmasters@gmail.com. Of course, you could support us at Who Would Win Masters on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere else. And find us wherever you podcast. We go every other week. We do a battle, and then we have a whole show dedicated to wrapping up that episode, reading audience comments. We have Patreon polls, and we read emails from listeners and talk about ideas for future battles, what we've been watching lately. Like we try to turn it into more than just a battle show. We want it to be a community and a community experience.
Is it a positive battle show? And I'm sorry, I've listened to your Joe podcast. I haven't listened to this one, so I apologize for that. But is it positive? It's so hard to listen to just people crapping on things so much. You know what I mean?
It is
and being
positive.
mean to each other.
It is deeply positive. It is uplifting, and we serve to celebrate both characters in every episode.
Oh, that's
It is
great.
not two people dogging on the other person's character. We might have some light fun with it, but we're not here to say this guy sucks and here's why. I hate shows like that.
Yeah.
That is boring to me.
It's one of the reasons why I don't like to review modern things, because they're that modern take always has to be a binary. When we review older stuff, there's always that nice glaze of nostalgia that even if it's something may not be great, we're talking about the DIC stuff, there's still that nostalgia bait or that charm that you go, yeah, but it's fun. Whereas newer stuff, it tends to bring out that instant, oh, this was a waste of my time and money.
No, I hate that. And hating things isn't a personality. I would much rather talk to somebody about what they're excited about than what they don't like.
There's a dude I see shows up on my Facebook reels. He does a toy show. I don't even know what it's not. It's not a G.I. Joe thing at all, but I just see him talking toys all the time. I've seen him hate every single thing. The only videos that show up is him staring at the camera going, this is terrible. And I'm like, why are you reviewing toys?
Yeah.
You're supposed to enjoy toys. You can critique it and not be a jerk about it.
Whenever I see somebody who hates everything that they're talking about, my first thought is like, well, then what do you make that's better?
Yeah.
And I don't like to say it because people don't have to make things, right?
Right.
But if your whole thing is about how everything sucks, then obviously you know what is good, and you must be able to make something of quality. And if the answer is you've never tried to make anything, you just hate everything, then you are a cookie cutter. No one needs you.
No one needs you.
I'll just be real. Not that bad, but there's still hope for you is what I'm trying to say. It's find something you like.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
it gets to the outrage clickbait,
It's silly. Well, knowing is half the podcast. We try to watch absurd and bad cartoons.
Yeah, because
We'll
you
just say it
guys
out loud.
don't just do G.I. Joe. That's what I
We
find
don't.
interesting about your show.
We just did one called Space Angel that I'd never heard of before.
Never heard of that.
It's a sci-fi show from the 60s that's, Clutch Cargo style animation.
Sure. Yeah.
It's that, but it's beautifully drawn Clutch Cargo animation in space, serialized in 5-minute segments.
Oh, that's great.
Is it
vintage, or is it someone just used that style? Is it? Okay.
No. It's from 1964 or something.
Yeah.
And it's some of the views on society are wild. I'll tell you, it's available on YouTube and you can watch it. It's crazy.
I'm gonna check that out. Flint. First of all, we see Duke working at a fast food restaurant.
Yes.
And Flint pulls up as a complete jerk to him, but then feels bad and goes, "You know what? To fix your life, I'm gonna send you into the military." That is crazy.
Ridiculous. I've trolled you. I've realized maybe I went too far, so I'm going to convince you to enlist as my heroic redemption arc?
Yes. And
what?
And obviously we don't know, this isn't a scenario where it's a World War II and, they're drafting people. But, Duke's leg is all messed up. I don't know that they would take him. They might be dude, you got to go home and heal. Then maybe you can run a lap.
He couldn't get into a Division I program.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's a wild arc, but this is the part right here where Falcon turns on his brother.
Right.
At least that's where I'm at in the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what this twist ending got to me, because when the family sees the spread of food on the table, the G.I. Joe family, and then we're all happy.
So nice.
We're like,
it's so
got
nice.
it. Cobra thinks we're dead now.
Yep.
And this swerve really got me. It got me real good. Like, oh no.
It's so fast. It's so fast.
So fast.
They go right to it.
Yeah. It's very delightful.
They go right to I done called the cops.
Yeah, I called the cops on my family member who I'm still mad at. And now look at him in the background. He feels bad. He knows he did wrong, but he still feels like this was the thing he had to do.
There's a really good economy of storytelling on the show. They do a great job of pivoting from, they don't linger on things. Like, it'll come in, I hate you, Duke. Oh yeah, you gonna feel bad about it? Yeah. Oh no, here are the cops right away. They don't linger on it. So that's exciting. Absolute banger of an episode. When you want to hear me, I was just thinking about it. I think my part 2, I'm going to leave on your show. So I think I'm going to release an episode that I say it's about part 2, but it's going to be like 5 minutes of me talking about it and saying, you want to hear my full thoughts? Go to Knowing Is Half the Podcast episode, blah, 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 blah.
And here's the deal. You had a lot to say on that episode. I do want to give you a lot of props. You caught things about this episode of part 1 even, and part 2, that honestly I didn't pick up on, and neither did my 2 castmates. And so you brought a couple, 2 or 3, real banger points that we hadn't even considered, including the Falcon point you already talked about here.
Well, I appreciate
it. It was just, and I just want to give you full credit, because we've seen all the G.I. Joe. I've lived this stuff. And so when you're able to come on the show of something I just watched and come out with original pulls and thoughts that I couldn't even, I didn't even see in front of my own face, I just want to give you full credit as a man who knows things.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. I very much so. Now, on this show, right, one of the things I love to do when I have new guests on and we watch an episode is get a code name for you. So what we do is we say, if you could be a member of the Joe or Cobra or Dreadnoks, whatever faction you want to be, what would you do? In you race Stakenas, what would you do if you were a part of that faction, and what would your code name be?
See, and I listened to other episodes of this show, and I had a perfect name, and I forgot to write it down, and so I don't have it.
What was your? Usually we start with the job, and then that leads us to the name.
Well,
so what would the job be?
My job would definitely be some sort of propagandist for Cobra. I'm going to make no illusions. I am evil. I would do Cobra, and I would leave that. You remember of course, the famed CTV episode of original G.I. Joe. I would probably be some sort of personality on CTV who's on there spitting fire and brimstone, talking about this, that, and the other thing. If my life had turned a different corner and I had turned and broken bad in many ways, I probably would be one of these terrible influencers online who's mad about everything and hates. Maybe that's why I have such strong feelings about it, is I see how my life could have gone in that direction, and it's no way to live, and I'm glad it didn't. But I absolutely could have been one of these outrage farming idiots very easily, and thankfully I had enough positive influences in my life to steer me in a better direction.
Well, you've got there's absolute compliment. You got an amazing voice for that. You have
you
have a projection voice that, like, I've got a deep voice. You have a projection voice, and it works really well for this, and it really directs an ear to a point. And I mean that, as both of us who have done this who've listened to countless hours of everything in podcasting, it really works well for this medium. So I'm really glad you found this medium. I also think I just found a name for you, and you said it as you were talking.
Great.
Do you remember at all? Any idea what you remember your name was?
No, but I'm excited because I often come up with great ideas and don't even know it.
My favorite part is coming up with the name for you. Ray Stakenas, you're the influencer.
The influencer, I'll take it.
That's it. You're the Cobra. You're the Cobra propagandist, and your name is the influencer.
I love this. And, and I would absolutely be one of the first people, when Cobra falls, I'm one of the first people you see in handcuffs being taken away.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because that's what the audience needs for catharsis in that moment.
You're the guy on camera screaming, it's a conspiracy. They're all out to get me.
That's right.
Don't believe your eyes. Like this is just another deep state. That's you. I love it so much. Ray, the influencer. Stick
This is it.
That's great.
That's it. It's my every dream come true at once.
That's awesome. Man, thank you so much for being on the show today.
I had a blast, and thank you so much for inviting me on. It's a long time coming. I would argue well overdue from it even happening. There was a part a decade ago when, and I remember this. I still remember this vividly, is that we were mutual friends on Facebook with somebody, and they were posting about podcasts on Facebook. And this was about 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been 2015, probably about September, October, whenever you first started the Joe on Joe pod. And I will never forget this because they were posting about podcasts and ideas for podcasts. And I remember the first comment was this guy named Joe who said, I'm doing a podcast about watching every episode of G.I. Joe and talking about it. And I commented on that, you're a little late to the party, pal. Because my show had already come out 2 months before your show came out. And I said it mostly ironically, but a little bit like this effing guy. I came up with this idea first, you big jerk.
Well, I'm glad I don't remember that.
Oh, here's the deal.
I've got the memory of a Finding Nemo fish.
I only see, the thing is, as an ADHD kid, all the memories that I retain are the ones of me acting out and doing bad things. I don't remember a single positive thing I've ever done, but my goodness, I could tell you when I was mean to a girl when I was 10 years old. I could tell you that moment, but no. So it sticks in my mind. So whenever I see the Joe on Joe pod, I would remember that moment and then laugh to myself being like, you're such a J-hole. What are you doing? And
well, all is forgiven, Ray. All is forgiven.
Well, here's the deal. Thank you. It was the most modest of slights, I'll tell you.
And as far as internet interactions go, we were right before the cusp of Doomsville in 2015. So that's nothing compared to what was coming in the next few years. So you're all good. You're good.
We were all mild. This is like old-timey internet hijinks.
This was what he keeps poking me. I don't want him to poke me.
Why is he poking me?
Why are you getting these pokes? Like that's the worst. If that was happening today, I wish that were happening today.
I'll tell you right now, I remember because I went back and listened to a very early episode of Joe on Joe back then. Because I wanted to hear what was going on. I don't often, and I don't know about you, I don't often listen to other G.I. Joe programs.
I try not to.
I don't want them to be, I don't want to be influenced by them or whatever.
Same.
I want to do my own thing. And so I did listen to a Joe on Joe pod. It was one of your first ones. And I remember listening to it. And I thought to myself, this guy's got an incredible deep voice. And I'm jealous. His voice is very, very good. He's got a wonderful radio voice. And his content is pretty good. And thankfully, it's very different than my content.
Oh, good.
We come from two, and we come from two very different ideas about how to do the show, even though on paper it's the same show. but we both specifically, we just have two different takes on the same thing.
Yep.
And the world is better with both, and I'll be the first to say it.
I agree. Well, thank you so much. Say hello to your co-host. It was a great pleasure to be on your show for part 2. Listeners, you have to check out Knowing is Half the Podcast, and you really have to check out Who Would Win Masters. You got to check that show out.
Joe's probably already been on there by the time.
Yeah, by the time you hear this, it'll be 2028. And Ray and I will have debated the entire roster of the Legion of Superheroes across 28 episodes.
It's done. It's done at this point. Joe's been on for the record 150th time, and we are literally out of characters.
So go check them out. Thank you again for listening. Ray, thank you so much again for being on the show. The influencer. And I like I like keeping the there. You're the influencer.
No, the is an important aspect of what a D that character is.
Yeah, the influencer. Thank you so much for coming on to the show today. I think this was a lot of fun, a great experience, and we'll see you soon. So Ray, now you Joe, and Joeing is half the battle.
A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Fall's a time to plan ahead and ensure your brand shows up in ways that matter. 4imprint's promotional products work as hard as you do and make a lasting impression. From quality apparel, including exclusive brands, to drinkware, tech, and totes, they've got thousands of options to fit your brand and budget. Plus, you get free samples, expert help, and their 360-degree guarantee. So you'll be 4imprint certain everything shows up just right on time. Explore more at 4imprint.com.